Hey everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Hump Day edition of Today in Sports Betting. It is day 2 of MACtion, everybody, and perhaps most importantly, it is Veterans Day. So a happy Veterans Day to all of you out there who served, even if you're not in the United States, you're watching this and you served in your country's military, even though it's probably not your Veterans Day. We wish you a happy Veterans Day as well. Thanks very much. Thanks for going over there and maintaining the vigil to let guys like us do the goofy things that we do. So we appreciate it. As always, happy Veterans Day. Scott, you're not a veteran, are you?
As far as I know, no.
No, okay, good. Any veterans in the family? Did your dad serve or anything?
My family not in the American Army. I've had some relatives who have served in the Israeli Army, so
Right.
that counts.
That's kind of that's mandatory service, right?
Yes. If you live in Israel, then once you reach a certain age, you are required to, enter the draft and stuff like that.
There you go. Kind of a different way of looking at it, but it's I know that's a bad fighting force over there in the Israeli army. So, very good. My dad was a veteran, and he fought during the Korean War. He served in Panama during the Korean War. So, yeah, it was a pretty sweet gig for him. He always tells the story about taking the troop ship with 4,000 guys. They go down to the Panama Canal, and they stop the ship, and he gets off, and everybody else stays on and goes to Korea. But he had a background working with the telephone company. He went and did revamped all their phone systems down in the Panama Canal, and that was his gig during the war. So
cool.
There you go. So happy Veterans Day to everybody. That's our stories. And we are happy to have you all here on Today in Sports Betting, taking a look at the MAC Day 2. Scott, we kind of had a mixed bag yesterday. Akron covered, which is they covered one time last year. Scott beat the number once last year.
I'm still trying to figure out what Ohio's game plan is going into the actual matchup. I know that they love to run the ball. I understand that. Can neither of their quarterbacks throw?
I guess not, bud.
Because Rourke actually looked pretty good against Central Michigan.
Yeah.
In the first game, and then you assume after the first touchdown drive, they're just going to go up and down the field. And right. Both quarterbacks took really awful sacks on 3rd and 2 in plus territory, which forced them to punt, so that didn't help. But the receivers weren't good. The timing was off. They couldn't really do anything offensively all night.
So what are we to make of that Ohio team, Scott? Are they not as good? Is Akron better than we thought? Did we learn anything in that game?
I think Akron's better than Bowling Green. Akron hasn't won a game in about a year and a half, 2 years. I think they're not the worst team in the conference.
Yeah, that's because Bowling Green, they got lit up.
I'm not surprised they got lit up. We both leaned. I know you had a play of the day on them. I leaned to them on the show. I kind of wish I gave them out as a play of the day. But Kent State's offense, very good. They got a bunch of track guys on the outside, and nobody can tackle them. Crum is a good quarterback. I like that team a lot. I think that that's a very good team. I said that they were my sleeper pick to win the MAC at 10-1. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. But Ohio, not good. They're not good. I know going into the year, they were, the preseason top 3 team?
Yeah.
They were supposed to finish 3rd. I put them – definitely not in the top half. That team's not very good.
Well, circle your calendar for November the 28th, because that's the day that Kent State and Buffalo square off there to find out who's going to reign in the East. And probably the 2 best teams in the conference are in the East. But we've got the other 2 teams, Scott, that are going to be battling for position there in the West if they're going to go at it tonight. We're going to talk about that game, the Toledo and Western Michigan. But let's start off with a game here, Scott. Between Ball State and EMU, the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Lines remain pretty steady on this one. Eastern Michigan is an 8-point doggy. 61 is the total. What you got on this one, brother?
So for this one, I think it's a pretty fair line. I know that Ball State lost the first game. Plitt still look good in the pocket. They still have a good offense. Eastern Michigan tried to – what?
Threw a terrible interception there at the end of
He did, but overall, he's still, for MAC standards, he's a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, he is.
Eastern Michigan looked awful for the first half against Kent State. They kind of rallied. Unfortunately, we're not able to pull it out as they end up losing to Kent State. So for this one, I know the total has gone up from 59 to 61 or so. I'm going to lean to the over. From what I saw from Ball State, especially after what I saw from Northern Illinois, no, sorry, not Northern Illinois. What I saw from Miami yesterday is that Miami's offense isn't very good, and yet they did whatever they wanted offensively against Ball State for 4 quarters. I don't think Ball State has any defense whatsoever. They seem to be a dead-over team. Plitt, is going to put up points, probably 30-plus. Eastern Michigan's offense showed signs of life against Kent State, and I don't think that Miami – I don't really think that this defense is really much better in Ball State's than Kent State. So for me, I think 61 is a little bit low. I think one of these teams, a minimum, should get into the mid to high 30s. I think this game should be around the number of 8 or 9, so I'm not going to touch the side, but I will lean to the over.
Okay, I'll lean with you. I think that's a fair play. I think there's a good chance that Ball State gets out to an early lead, and Eastern Michigan may have to throw a little bit more even than they want to. And I'm with you on the defenses here. I'm going to go ahead and lean over 61 on that one as well. So that brings us to the second game on the slate, which is a game between Central Michigan and Northern Illinois. Any idea what to make of this Northern Illinois team, Scott? I mean, they kind of had a mixed bag showing against Buffalo last week. They put up 30 points and gave up 3 offensive scores, 2 scoop and scores and 1 pick six. Buffalo ends up getting 49. So, if you take away those 3 touchdowns, of course, Buffalo could certainly scored, but I mean that it certainly changes the complexion of that game and makes Northern Illinois competitive with Buffalo. So, what team are we going to see tonight with these Huskies?
The truth is, for this one, Central Michigan, I don't know what to think of them anymore, because I thought they pulled off an impressive win against Ohio, and now I don't know how impressive that win is because my Ohio stock has already been sold. Right. I'm just not interested in Ohio. So Central Michigan, I know that they have a backup quarterback. I actually thought he was pretty good in the season opener, a little bit inaccurate downfield. But as a whole, Central Michigan's offense looked pretty good. The defense looked pretty good. I think that Northern Illinois is bad, but not maybe as bad as people think they are. I think that it's, once again, a pretty tough spot, which is part of the reason why I ended up skipping the MAC card for my play today, because I thought that all these lines were pretty close. For the sake of this one, I'm going to lean to the under, actually. It's mostly what you just said. It's just the fact that Buffalo finished with 49, and Buffalo's offense is really good. Can't really deny that. Their offense is really good. But if you take away the 3 defensive touchdowns, they scored 28 points.
Right. And
Northern Illinois, a decent amount of their points came in garbage time because Buffalo didn't really care once they were up 3-4 touchdowns late. So you had some, prevent defenses to exploit. As a whole, I think that Northern Illinois' defense, I know that it's a little bit young, but I really don't think this defense is that bad. Giving up 397 total yards of offense to Buffalo might sound bad. Really not. Because Buffalo went off offensively yesterday, and I thought Northern Illinois kind of held them in check for about two quarters and change. So I think that this defense is pretty good. Central Michigan's offense, I think, is underrated, which is a bit concerning. But at the end of the day, I just think this total is a bit too high at 58. There's a reason why this total has gone down. I do think this game will be close, but I can see this game finishing 28-24, something like that. I'm going to lean to the under.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely that Northern Illinois turns the ball over like they did. There could be 1 or 2 turnovers because they definitely need to work on ball security there with the.
I'm not a Bowers guy, so that doesn't surprise me. But
and that's the thing. They can't really decide who's going to play quarterback for that team, and that's not a great thing. So the guy was the second stringer that turned the ball over, right? Through the pick six and the scoop and score.
Yeah, both quarterbacks.
Second stringer. I know they rotate all those guys.
Both quarterbacks were not good, so it's not like one is significantly better than the other. They're just not good quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's the thing. You talk about when you have 2 quarterbacks, you really got none, and they really have 3 quarterbacks that they try to rotate through there. At least Thompson and Hayden get some snaps. Bowers is the main guy, but Yeah, he's the one that threw the pick and threw the. I was wrong. He was the one that threw the pick and had the scoop.
Mm-hmm. No, but when it comes to Central Michigan, they're a balanced team. I know Richardson was a pretty good backup quarterback who looked pretty sharp against Ohio. The main weapon, of course, on Central Michigan's team is going to be Khalil Pimpleton, who's their best receiver by far.
Yep.
So the question is, can Northern Illinois stop him? And I think that even if they hypothetically don't, I don't think Northern Illinois' offense is that good. So I think that there are a couple scenarios where you can win this, even if Central Michigan scores 35 points.
Yeah, it certainly could be, 35-14, something like that.
35-20, you win. It's I don't know. I just think this total's a bit high. I think that people are going to look at Northern Illinois and go, 79 points in the opener combined. And you have to say to yourself, yeah, but they gave up less than 400 total yards.
Right. Yeah, to a score that's much better than Central Michigan. So, yeah, okay. This is going to be a rare day, Scott. I'm going to go.
It's a tough one, but I'm still going to lean to the under there.
Yeah, I don't love that game, but I do. I'll lean under there as well. So now, kind of the marquee matchup of the evening, as arguably the two best teams there in the West go at it with the Toledo Rockets and the Western Michigan Broncos. Broncos 2-point favorites in this one, and
I don't think it's that arguable. I think they are the two best teams in the West.
Okay.
I don't know who else you'd pick though. I don't think Central Michigan's a top two team. I don't think Central Michigan's better than Toledo and Western Michigan.
Well, I mean that's the other team that would be in the discussion there. So
that's what I'm saying. So I think that you can make the argument, but I think that it's even more than an argument. I just think that it's most likely factual.
These are two teams that they're very similar. Both of them have very veteran offenses, lots of firepower on the offensive side of the ball. It would appear that the defenses are a little bit behind, but these are the two teams that blew out the two little weak sisters of the division of the conference last week. As Western Michigan hammered Akron 58-3, right?
Yeah, it was 58-13.
58-13, sorry. Only a 45-point difference. And Toledo took care of business against
Bowling Green. They only gave up 3 points.
Yeah, Bowling Green. That was the one where they gave up 3. So, yeah, that was so basically we didn't learn much, although if Akron ends up being decent, we learned a little bit about Western Michigan here. So, Scott, I'm probably going to just go ahead and lean with the home team here and take the Broncos minus the 2 points. You got some thoughts here?
No, it's kind of a boring video because I'm leaning Western Michigan as well. Western Michigan was my other sleeper to win the conference at roughly 6-1, 6.5-1. At least that's what I remember it being. I don't think it was 8. It could have been 8-1, but it was somewhere in that range on DraftKings going in. I think this team's good. I know that Western Michigan has had a couple of, I'd say, mediocre seasons lately, but they scored 58 against Akron. I know Akron is supposed to give up as many points as possible every single time. Ohio, I guess, didn't get the memo. But Toledo, I know that they ended up dominating Bowling Green. I don't think Bowling Green's that good. That Bowling Green defense is so beyond awful, and Toledo's offense seemed like it couldn't really do anything for a decent portion of it. I know that they ended up scoring 30-plus points. A lot of those were short fields because Bowling Green's quarterback kept throwing interceptions. Their punter kept hitting it roughly 4 yards every time. So Toledo took over in plus territory extreme, and they took advantage of it early on. Defensively, they looked really good, which is kind of a weird thing to say about Toledo of all teams because defensively they have never really been a defensive powerhouse. But I like Western Michigan. I think that you had some questions about the quarterback going in with the lack of experience and how that would work out, and I feel like the quarterback definitely put all of those questions to bed in that first game. They can score quickly. They can run the ball. They're balanced. Their defense, I think, is pretty good as well. Ellaby, 12 of 16, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns. I just think this is a very good overall team. They have a lot of balance. They had 4 rushing touchdowns, 5.6 yards per carry against Akron. I know Akron, once again, is awful, so you kind of have to take everything with a grain of salt. But when you have a starting quarterback with a QBR of 91 and you're running for 200-plus yards and 4 touchdowns, you have yourself a very nice balance there. And I think that Toledo's performance against Bowling Green, while it might have been impressive, I do think Western Michigan is the better overall team. So for me, I've never been a big Eli Peters guy at Toledo. I'm not really a big fan of him at quarterback. I think he's okay. but I'm going to lean to the Broncos here, especially minus the 2.5.
Yeah, I think Ellaby is a little better quarterback, and they're going to ask.
Are you also low on Peters or no?
I'm not a big Peters fan.
I think he's fine, but he's not great or anything.
No, and neither one of these guys are going to beat you downfield with their arms. They're going to.
Ellaby might, because I know that it was against Akron corners, but he took a couple deep shots in that game, and most of them panned out.
You think this Akron defense ends up being better than we thought, Scott? Because they had some.
It could be. They got after the quarterback for Ohio. Then again, Ohio, from what I saw yesterday, doesn't have a capable quarterback in that conference.
They definitely struggled at the QB position. They had a lot of drops in that game too.
Yeah.
It just was an ugly game all the way around.
But Akron's defense, are they good? No. Are they awful? Not necessarily. I think Bowling Green's defense is almost useless.
Yeah,
from what I saw, because it wasn't even just covering the fast Kent State guys who nobody can really cover, but I think they went offsides more than any other team I've ever seen before. I don't know if you watched that game. They jumped on a fake snap count maybe 7 times. It was actually impressive at some points. I believe they had 5 offsides or 4 offsides in the first half.
Oh, that is impressive.
So it was not good, but Toledo scoring 34 against them, I think it's fine. But if you actually watch Bowling Green play, you kind of wonder, how Toledo only score 34?
Yeah, agreed. This is both these teams are teams that will keep their running backs fresh, that rotate. Western Michigan really rotates 4 guys through there. Toledo really rotates 2. Plus, Peters is probably going to be one of the main ball carriers. They run a little bit different of an offense, and they're not going to take the downfield shots nearly as much. I think the Broncos are going to be. I think their offensive prowess is going to show through here, and I think they're going to be able to ultimately win in this one. I think it could be a fun game. I think this could go back and forth. One of those kind of things where the last team to have the ball ends up winning the game. For me, that's going to be the Broncos -2.
Yeah, you have any thoughts on the total with that?
I do. I actually have a premium on the total. So I do have thoughts.
Perfect segue. If you want his thoughts, it's a premium pick.
That's right. Make sure you check and always check out Scott's Play of the Day. Check out my premium picks if you're looking for more.
I did a breakdown on the Masters. So if you want some props there, I know the Masters starts tomorrow. So if you want some thoughts, you can check out my video.
And Scott was we were talking about the Masters before the show, and Scott was very disappointed me because I thought that was a once-of-a-lifetime shot with John Rahm on the 16th there that we saw skipping across the water. Scott says, no, Vijay Singh did that all the time. So
I believe it was on 16. You can find it on YouTube. I know he definitely did it twice on the same hole. I think it was 16 on the Masters. Either way, it was the shot of the year.
I still say it was a hell of a shot.
It was a great – I'm not saying it wasn't – oh, no, he skipped the golf ball across the water 7 times and it went in the hole. No, not impressive. No, of course it's impressive. I'm just saying I have seen similar things before.
Okay, nothing new under the sun for you, buddy.
Yep.
All right, there you go. And that's it, guys. That's going to be it for the MAC, and we'll be back to talk tomorrow about the NFL and about what could be a very, very bad Mountain West game there with Boise and Colorado State.
Hopefully we'll know who's the starting quarterback for Boise before that.
We're gonna torture them and do 2 videos tomorrow. We're just gonna do one and put those 2 games together.
More the merrier for me. I think we should do 2. But that's just me.
I always look forward to talking 20 minutes about Colorado State. That's going to be a blast.
I haven't figured out that team yet, so at some point I'm going to have to figure it out.
No, I'm 0 for Colorado State this year. I'll tell you that much. So this should be fun. And I swung and missed at Boise last week. So I got 2 teams that I've done nothing with this year that are going to play each other. So
something's got to give. So that's the bright spot.
Something's got to give. That's right. And then what do we have we actually have a decent NFL game.
I get to see Phillip Rivers on primetime.
The Titans and the Colts, you get to see Phyllis in prime time, so that should be fun. So make sure you guys check that out tomorrow. But that's going to do it for today. As always, if you want deeper dives into these games and every other game in America every single day, you know the place to stop. Where is that, Scott?
winnersorwiners.com.
That's right. winnersorwiners.com. Some of the finest handicappers and riders in the world over there breaking down these games every single day, doing deep dives into the games. All the meaning behind the stats, and et cetera, et cetera. So check that out as well. And for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Winers, Appreciate you watching today. Once again, happy Veterans Day from all of us to all of you. We appreciate what you do, and wish you guys nothing but the best. And I hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. You guys take care. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.